A very warm welcome to all of you. Very good afternoon and happy Chartered Accountants Day to all our participants and to all my panelists and my team member. I welcome Mr. S Mathur, uh, who is partner Mohinder Puri and Company. And I have my team members, CA Minali Bansal, CA Pooja Garg, and Aprajita Chachan. So we are waiting Mr. Mathur to join. And yes, Mr. Mathur is here. So very good afternoon and a very happy Chartered Accountants Day.
Same to you and good afternoon and a very happy Chartered Accountants Day to all the participants as well.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Those who do not know, I did articleship from Mohinder Puri and Company, and I did articleship under Mr. C.S. Mathur, and I was very lucky enough to get the place in CS in Mohinder Puri and Company. And on this day, meeting virtually my principal, I think I'm very lucky. This day is very lucky for me.
So we are fortunate that I get the opportunity to talk to you and also through you to the participants who have joined this seminar.
Thank you, sir. So let me start the discussion. I understand that you are in Mohinder Puri for last 50 years, 50.
Right.
It's a pretty long period. You started as an article in Mohinder Puri, and now you are heading the tax practice of Mohinder Puri. And when I was article in 2000 to 2003 or 4, at that time also, we used to see you as a partner. So nowadays, generally, we do not find this much of a duration one is investing with a company. So the first question comes to anyone head will going to be, what make you stick with this organization?
Quite right.
Was with the something with the organization, or something with you, some commitment. So what made you stick with Mohinder Puri and Company?
Definitely, it is 50 years is a long term, and I really cherish having worked with the firm for so long. And I would say that in the initial period, the object was to get experience. And in Mohinder Puri and Company, we had Mr. Mohinder Pal Puri, who was at that time the sole proprietor. And he was a very well-known professional, and he was specializing primarily in the corporate area, and also he was specializing in the international tax side. And he had a few clients which were foreign companies coming from US, from Germany, and from other areas. So working under Mr. Puri was one of the attractions, because he was such a man of principles and discipline and intelligence that we really admired him. All of us admired him and wanted to gain experience through his expertise and all. So that was one thing. But I must say that yes, after joining Mohinder Puri and Company as a chartered accountant, in the initial period, in the initial 4-5 years period, there used to be sometimes distraction that, why don't you go for a job? Why don't you take up a job with an industrial company? Or sometimes some of the friends got involved in other businesses, like somebody got into much more in the share business, somebody got involved in the property business. So those distractions used to be there. Oh, that person is doing better than you. So why do you want to continue in the profession only, and why do you want to continue in Mohinder Puri and Company? But I had a feeling in my mind that no, I have to focus on this side. I have to focus on my area, which is, as you mentioned, that the tax side. And then I have to continue to work on this, and I should not be shifting to other areas where some people are shifting, where they're of course making more money than I was making in the initial year. But it was not my desire to go for the money at that time. It was my desire to continue to work in a manner which is generally, it was considered good for the professional. So I focused working with Mr. Puri and got good experience, good knowledge, and the way he used to deal with the client, the way he used to deal with people, that was a big, big experience for us. So it was, since then, of course, unfortunately, Mr. Puri died in 1987. And then the situation changed for us. And so both me and Mr. Vig, who is my partner, then we took over the firm. So it has been a great experience working with Mr. Puri. And I feel that I'm one of the satisfied professional. I feel that I've done more than I could have thought about. And I have gained a lot of experience. I had the opportunity to also write a book on taxation. I had the possibility to interact with the best of the professionals, with the best of the counsels. So it has been a very, very satisfying period for me in the profession.
Thank you, sir. So under you, many of articles have grown up and they have become a chartered accountant.
Right.
And some of them might be doing good and some of them might be doing an average.
Right.
So if you can tell us, what is the, thing which you see in the article that this quality will going to make this person successful, or this quality will going to, only make him an average guy. So are you able to distinguish when someone is article that, this guy for sure looks a promising professional in the future, and this guy looks on an average professional?
Surely you can make out, because it depends upon the focus of the person, how focused the person is, how he is dealing with an issue which is interested to him, how he is presenting whatever work he has done, and what is his level of knowledge. So if the person is focused, he's not just spending time and then giving you something which is not really thought out or really well done, that is very apparent. You can make out that this person has a level of knowledge, level of intelligence which is required, and he is trying to put in good effort to give you an answer or presentation which is sufficient considering his level. So this is very apparent right in the beginning. And some people just do it for the sake of doing something, and they don't really put forward their best efforts. And in my view, the best person you can see is that somebody who is working really hard, he's focusing on what he's trying to do, and then he comes up with good answers or good presentation. So it is very easy to make a distinction between the two. Yeah.
So since morning, we are doing this kind of a discussion, and this one is the third discussion. So first we did with Sanjeev Chaudhary ji, then we were having Bimal Jain ji, and now you. I think the common thing which all of you talked is the hard work, is the passion. Because you said that you had got a passion to work in a tax, and that's what made you stay in Mahinder Puri and Company. And then when it comes to an article or a successful person, I think again what you're highlighting is the hard work and presentation skill. So if somebody watching this video, and if he wants to take away that what are the essential qualities or essential point he needs to work upon, I think that would going to be certainly a hard working attitude and presentation skills. So now coming, you are handling a good size firm. I personally aware about the way Mahinder Puri has grown over the period of time. And what becomes important when you want to grow is holding your people, is to keep your team with you. So some tips which you wish to give, because we all of us wants to grow, but the problem is we are not able to hold the team, and there are many practices which are not able to hold the team. And also there are many practices in which partners have tussles, somewhere in the between when the firm starts growing. So in those two aspects, touchwood, the partnership is going good. Your and Mr. Vikasik's partnership is going good. So what is the tip in maintaining a sound relationship with your partner? And second, how to hold your team so that you can grow big?
Yeah, as I said, of course, the success depends upon the hard work. It also has an element of luck and chance also, because the hard work sometimes always doesn't pay. So it is also sometimes the luck also plays its part. So, and my suggestion would be that you have to specialize in one particular subject. You have to focus on one particular subject where your expertise should be visible. And that way you can, if you really show your expertise, then definitely it would be visible to the people, and definitely they will come to you and they will take advantage of your knowledge. Vis-a-vis the partner, yes, as you rightly said, I have been very fortunate to have Mr. Vig as a partner for the last so many years, I think more than 35 years. And both of us, in fact, qualified around the same time. He was only 1 year junior to me. And we had an excellent academic record. He was the first position holder in Delhi University in BCom, and did from Shriram. I was in my year second position holder in Delhi University. So we had a good academic background. So that also matched a little bit. Then secondly, basically in partnership, there are so many aspects which you have to see. One is, of course, that you should have a compatibility, knowledge-wise, nature-wise. Then secondly, you should have trust and faith. Of course, these are the basic attributes in any partnership, whether a professional or whether anyone. So then, in all the years, we have had trust and faith in each other that we are all doing work for the promotion of the business of the firm. And we were not concerned that what other partner is doing or what I am doing. We were all assuming and working that it is all for the business of the firm. Mr. Vig had a different style of work. He was looking after this audit side. He was meeting the clients in a much, much more way. I was dealing with the tax side, with international tax clients, which was sitting more in the office and then doing it. But we had a big feeling of faith and trust that everyone is working for the interest of the firm. And then we had also clarity on what we need to achieve. We were not so much concerned how much money we are making. We were working and the money was fortunately flowing on its own. So focus was more on giving quality work. Focus was more on maintaining good relations with the clients, with the people in our office. And that has somehow worked well with us. And in a partnership for success, you have to have a good transparency about each and everything. Whether it is a acquisition of a client, whether it is your settlement of account, whether it is any matter which relates to the firm. So if you have a clarity and transparency, then it works well. And you should not be doubting what the other person is doing. So have faith, have good trust in the other partner, and normally it should work well. And don't carry forward even settlement of accounts to many years, and better to do everything every year, settle everything every year. Now, vis-a-vis holding of the people into your firm, that they are not moving away from your office. Of course, the relationship does matter. We do take interest in each and every person. We try to encourage his coming up, his growing in the profession. We also give reasonable, remuneration. Of course, it is not comparable to the Big Four, which sometimes is an issue which comes up. But we have seen that, yes, many people are who work with us, who qualify with us, they have interest in immediately after qualifying, they want to go to Big Four because they feel it's a bigger firm and then they will get bigger experience. But at the same time, there have been so many instances in our firm that there are professionals who went to the Big Four, and then after 1 year or 2 years, or even after 2 months, they have come back to us. So it's a matter of the feeling which they have, the relationship which they have with us. That matter. And of course, the remuneration is one part, definitely one of the major part, but also working in a good atmosphere, in an atmosphere which is friendly, which is not too much demanding, that also makes a big difference.
So I would like to vouch on the environment part. Being I was also part of Mahindra uh, in 2004-5 as a chartered accountant. So when we talk about Mahindra, when we talk about the internal environment, it gives you a feeling that you are in your own home. You are your own people. Certainly there is a pressure. I'm not saying there is not a pressure, but yes, the overall environment is soothing. From peon to partner, everyone gives you a feeling that we are one team.
Yeah.
So I think that's a wonderful, and also on our technology part, on the infrastructure, the firm is not less than any of the big.
Right.
So that makes a good piece to work. And those who are watching this video, I would like to tell them, for a short duration, I joined one multinational company after giving the exam. So when you give the exams and when you get the result, there is a 2-month break. At that time, they offered me, once I became a chartered accountant, they offered me some 3.8 or 4 lakh. At that time in Mahindra, the package used to be 10,000 rupees per month. That is 1.2
Right.
per annum. So in 2004. So I left that company and came back to Mahindra just because I used to love the environment and I used to.
Right. I recall. Yeah. That is true. That's true.
So now, Minali, Aprajita, Pooja, if you have Pooja, it's not there. Minali or Aprajita, if you have any question for sir. Wait, Minali, wait. I need to unmute you. Minali, you need to unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm a freshly qualified chartered accountant, and it's been 1 year that I've been working with Gaurav sir now. So, as you said that initially your main target was to gain experience. So, similarly, I want to understand that for the initial 5 years of our career, what should we be looking at achieving?
So as I said, initially you have to build your experience. You have to pick up an area where you want to specialize. So if the learning, it is an investment in the initial period that you have to work hard and learn from the person under whom you are working. And that is where that should be the motive initially. And depending upon the situation which you are in, whether you are in a position to grow in that organization, and then you see the prospects of growing, then you will continue. Otherwise, if the experience you have gained is sufficient enough, then you can look for opportunities elsewhere. So it is very important not to bother so much about money aspects in the beginning, to focus on learning aspect in the beginning. Wherever you can gain better experience, better learning atmosphere.
Thank you, sir. Aprajita, you have some question for sir? Aprajita, Pooja? No. Yeah, Aprajita.
Sir, I'm a second year article trainee working with Gaurav sir. It's been like 1 year in TP with him. So I have one thing, that there are many times in our career when we lose the driving force, when we feel down that, it is becoming too hard for us. So what was your driving force in your career when you were having some low point in your life?
In the career, I said, after qualification?
During the articleship period, or within, after qualifying, or anything that you want to share with us?
Yeah. So fortunately for me, I was highly focused on my studies. So as I mentioned in the beginning, that we were highly focused in BCom honors, and we got position in the university. Similarly, the desire was to have a good percentage of marks in the C examination also. So there also, study was one of the major focus. And also, of course, you had to go for doing audits in various places. Sometimes I was sent to Gwalior for 3 months for audit of Sindhya school. And sometimes we went to Jodhpur for study. So audit side, you had to, of course, you had to work for, but study was the major thing. And I do not think I had any low point during articles, which I was bothered about. There was none as such.
Okay, so now you are managing big set of clients, and in past or currently also you are associated with the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, which I understand. Uh, in this pandemic situation, when the business sentiments are a bit down, am I audible?
Yeah.
When the in this pandemic situation, when the business sentiments are a bit down, what is your key inputs for the chartered accountants who are looking for job? Because job market is also not happening. It's not that positive which it used to be 1 year back. So what would be your guidance for the freshly qualified chartered accountants who are struggling to get job?
I do feel, of course, presently there would be problems because of pandemic. The companies are focusing on their cost. Companies are very uncertain at this time as to what will happen to their results. They don't know when this will be over, when the normalcy will be restored. So there would be problems in the next 5 to 6 months. But hopefully, the economic activity will pick up again. Companies will focus more on increasing their revenues and their profitability. And I do feel that maybe beginning of the next year or mid of the next year, the normalcy may start coming in. And then the demand for the chartered accountants would increase, definitely. So one has to stick to the place where you are today, and may not be in a position to get jobs or good jobs at this stage. But don't lose hope. There is definitely a lot of opportunities. There would be a lot of opportunities. There would be a lot of business activities which surely would come up in the mid next year onwards. Companies are hoping, based on my interaction with the chief executives of the company, that they will come back to the normal position, to the pre-pandemic level by end of next year or by beginning of 2022. Yeah. So there is good hope. At the moment, there will be problem, but there is not to lose hope and continue to work wherever you are, and then look for a good job. Only maybe you get a good job sometime in the beginning of the next year or mid of next year.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your feedback and interview. Once again, a very happy Chartered Accountants Day to you and to all my team members. And to all my viewers, I will request you to kindly join us at 1:30 p.m. We'll have CA Dr. Raj K. Agarwal, who is a partner in RRA Tax and who is ex-president of Bharatiya Vittya Salahkar Samiti. Thanks a lot, sir. Once again.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for inviting me, and happy Chartered Accountants Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.